Hello guys, welcome once again to Flutter Zone. So we are going to continue our food delivery app, and this is where we ended last time. We created the order card. So here's the code for the order card where we ended last time. And if you look at the image for what we have, I mean the finished product, you can see we have an app bar with a title, your food cart. So we are going to do that and then continue with this column, and then we also put our button here, and this thing you see here, the chicken and then the meat, and with this um, cross sign there, is actually a list view in the horizontal direction. So we are going to finish the order card today, and then hopefully I think we can do this. I think I'll make this video very long to at least finish the other page today. So let's just do that. So I'll start with the app bar here. So let's do that, and let's go to the other page here. So we can choose to add a scaffold to this other page here, or we can choose to use the scaffold here. You see this main screen is having a scaffold here, and this main screen is controlling all the pages we have, like the home page, the other page, and then the favorite, and then the profile page. So we can take an advantage of the scaffold that we have here, instead of creating different scaffold widget for the different pages. So first, let's see how we can do this. So we can decide to wrap this one with a scaffold widget. Let me wrap with a new widget like scaffold widget, and then we have to change this to the body because a scaffold doesn't use a chart. So when we have this one, we can quickly add an app bar to this, and let's say app bar, and then we can specify the title. So the title takes in a text widget where we just put in your text, and then we can do that. And also let me just save and see what you get. So this is what you get, and we know that looking from this one, we have to center and then change the color of the app bar. So we can center tab to true. That means we want to center the title of the app bar, and this is what we get. So we can also change the background color, and I can choose to use the white background. And then let's see, if we use the white background, then that means we can't see our text, so we have to specify the color of our title, about title. So we can use the tester and then specify the color and say this color should be black, and we have that one there. And we can also choose to remove the elevation of the app bar here. So let's do that, and then say 0.0, and then this will appear flat. I think that one is good. So yeah, so we have our app bar there. So we can choose to do that using a scaffold here, or we can choose to use the scaffold here. So any of this approach is good. So we can choose to use the scaffold here, and then we can specify the app bar here. Let me show you what I mean here. So we know that whenever we click on any tab here, it changes the index. So this is index 0, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So we can use the where's the variable here? So we can use this variable here, current tab index, and then to check at which index we are. So we know this 0, 1, 2, 3. So I can say if current tab index using the ternary operator is 1. So this is saying if current tab index equals 1, that's referring to this other page, then I want to specify this app bar here. So what is it? Let me go to the other page. So I want this app bar here. So I can copy this one and then come here. So if that's the case, then I want this app bar. If not, I don't want any above for now. So we can do it this way and then decide to go to the other page and then delete the scaffold widget here. Let me show you what I mean here. And then save here first. So if you save here, it goes back to normal. And then when we come to the main screen and if you save, let's see what we get. We still get the same approach. So you can use the first approach or you can use this one. So let's go ahead and then continue with the design here, the one we have here. So here we know we need a column, so we will do that in the other card file here. Other card, where is it? Yeah, other card that we can do it here. So first we need a space, come to the container and then we can set a size box and set the width to 20.0 and then we need a column. So let me just bring the comma here. So we need a column here and then we have to specify the children that we need. So we need a text widget which will display the name. So I'll say this is super grilled grilled chicken is okay. Grilled chicken, something like that. And then we need to also specify the price, so we can also use the text for that. And then specify the price, let's say 3.0 dollars. And then we also have to specify, this is actually the toppings of the food that you are buying. So let's say you may choose to buy jollof and then you want to add chicken or meat or sausage. So these are actually the toppings of the food that you buy. So this one is actually in the form of a list view that you can scroll horizontally. So we are going to use a list view here, and to do that we have to use a container here and then specify a height of the container and then a width of the container. So let's specify a height of, let's say 45.0, and let's also specify a width of 120.0, and then we can say the child of this should be a list view. So I will explain to you what I'm actually doing here. A list view, and then the children in this list view, when you look at it very carefully, the children of this list view is actually a row. So I use a row for this one, and in the row we have two text widgets, one for the name of the topping and this one for a text widget, but it's actually inside an inkwell where you can click and then remove the topping from the list of toppings of the food item. So we can do that here, and first let's use a test, and let's say, oh sorry, I said it's a row, right? So it's a list of row here, and then we can also specify the children, and we have to specify the text. Let's say chicken, and we also need the what do we need? The X, or the close or remove sign there. So we need this and that. So let's just save and see what we have, the changes we have so far. Okay, so this is what we have so far, and it's not really good. So it's not like what we have here. So we have to change the font size and then increase the font weight, and then we also have to change the color of the price, and then also change these items here. So let's just do that. Okay, so first let's check the alignment. When you look at this, let's check the cross axis alignment. So a column moves vertically, right? So from top to bottom, but we want to arrange the items in the column to the left. we want the items to start from the left. I mean, arrange on the left side. So to do that, we are going to use the cross axis alignment, because this is the cross axis alignment. The cross axis alignment of a column is the vertical direction. So we can specify that and say cross axis alignment dot start. So what we are trying to say is that you should start on the vertical direction. You should start from the left side. So you can see we have everything aligned on the left side of our column, and then we can also increase the size of the we need the star, and then oh, why am I making all these mistakes? So sorry, we need the font size, and then we can specify 14, and then we need a font weight, and then say font weight dot bold, and let's save and see what we get. I think the font size is too big. That's okay. Okay, you can choose to do it any way you want, but I prefer 16. I think 16 will be okay for me. And then we also need to change the color of this one, so we can also specify the text style of this, same format, but this time we are changing the color here. So I think the color I used was orange accent or something. Yeah. What happened? I lost my, yeah. So I used orange accent for this one. So let's see, and also let's increase the font size of that one. So I think font size of this one should be 16, and should we make it bold? It's okay for now. Let's just look at the image that we have. So you can see there are some space in between the items here. So let's just do that too. I'll just use a size box for that, and then we can say size box, and then this time we are going to use the height because we are in a column, and then the column is from top to bottom, so obviously we are going to use the height, and then specify 5.0 for this one, and also do the same for this one. So let me just copy instead of typing the whole thing again. Copy and then paste here. So we have space in between, and I don't like the way this thing is aligned. It's not in line with this one. So let me also check this one, the main axis the main axis alignment, and let me set it to the start, because I want it to be in line with nothing actually happened, so I think it's not necessary, but you see, I want it to be in line with this one. I don't know, let me see the design. Okay, they are in line here. So this actually should be the alignment of the row here. So let's check the row, the first row we used for, yeah, and let's say the cross axis alignment for this one should be that start. So in a row, if you say the cross axis alignment, so this is the cross axis alignment. The cross axis alignment will be from top to bottom, or the vertical direction. So let's see if it will affect it. And of course, you see, now they are in line, but there's a huge space here. I don't want that. Then what's the problem here? I'm looking at this. I have padding at the bottom, but why do I have a huge space here on the card? I think this is the horizontal axis, so left and right. Do I need vertical padding. Let me just take this one off for now and see what happens. It's too bad now. Let me just bring it back. I don't know. I don't know why I have a lot of padding here. I'm just trying to figure out why I have a lot of padding there. So I'm not going to edit this out because I want you guys to see how I sometimes fix errors in my coding. I'm actually not seeing why I'm having a lot of padding here, but okay, maybe it's coming from the container here because let's decrease the size of the container here. Let's see. Okay, so it was coming from this container. Sometimes you can add a color to a container to see let me make it blue to see the full height and then the full width of the container. So let's just add a color to that and let's see. So you can see the full height and then the full width here. So it was too much, so I think let's just use the color for now to just see how things are looking. And when you look at this now, we have in the list view, we have to change this one to colors.gray, and then we also have to change the X to red, and then have some little space between the X and then the topping name. So let's just do that, and let's just bring this one here, size box, and then we can specify the width because we are in a row, and then we save and see the changes. Don't worry, I'll remove the background color of the container very soon, but I just want it to be there for now. And then we can also specify the text style of this one, and then say color is colors.gray for now. And now we also have to specify the color for yeah, it's gray. I think let's make it bold, or let's leave it like that. Let's also specify let me just remove the color here for now so that we see what we are doing. Okay, so we need this one to be red. We can specify the text style and then say colors.red here. Okay, and this doesn't look clear, so I'll increase the font weight of that one and say font weight dot bold, and then we are good to go. So it looks bold now. Okay, and what again? I think I'll increase. Wait, I think it's okay for now. So let's look at the design again. We have, I think it's okay now. We have to make this one bold. Yeah, let's make it bold. What is it here? Let's choose to make it bold. Yeah, font weight that bold, and this looks good for now. Okay, it's bold now. Now let's copy and paste this row here because we are going to get a lot of toppings to our food item. So let's paste this one here. Oh, sorry, copy from the row because we will get rows of toppings here. Let's paste this one and then let's paste. I want you to see how it looks like. Oh, now you can see that this thing is going down, but you can scroll, and it's very bad because we didn't specify the direction of our list view. So let's just do that here, scroll direction, and then this time we are going to say horizontal because we want it to move in the horizontal direction. And then when we save, this is what we get. So you can see this time you can scroll here to see the toppings that you have on a food item. And looking at this, we also need a space right after the X or the closing button there. We will make this a button later. We will wrap it in an inkwell. So, but first, let's just look for a way to put a space between this. So when you look at this, we need a space between a space after each topping. So to do this, I'm going to wrap this whole item here in a container. There are many other ways to do this, but I'll wrap this in a container. Where's the thing? Okay, it's not showing. Let me just copy and say container, and then I can just give it a chart of the row. It looks like my hand. Okay, so we put it inside a container here, and then we can now specify a margin, and then this margin we can say edge insect dot only, and then specify is it right? Yeah, right of, let's say 10.0. It's okay. Yeah, let's see what happens to the first one. Okay, so you can see there's a space there, so that means we need the same thing for all. I can just first let me just remove all this and now copy this one. There are so many approaches to do this, but I prefer using the container to do that. So now I have space between all my toppings. Now we also, let me just go back again, because we also need to add to wrap our closing or the X in an inkwell so that we can click. So I'll just say let me just click here and then wrap with a new widget. Wrap with a new widget and say inkwell, and then this inkwell will have an on tab. Let me just format this well. This is the test. Let me just close this one. Yeah, and then we can bring this one down. We have other things here. We have this one here. We can choose to bring each one of them here. I think there's a shortcut of doing this thing. You press some key and then it format the whole text for you, but I don't know. So with this one, we can set the on tab here, and then you see it doesn't change the design we have so far. Yeah, it doesn't change the design, but you can see that you can now click. You can see the background when you click on it. You can see that. So the idea is to, when you click, that means you are removing the toppings from your food item. So that means you don't want it on your food item. So that's it so far. And let's look at this one. We need this this button there, and then we will create this this layout here. So we need this button, and this will still be in the row. So let's look at it. And then my code has become plenty. I don't even know which side to look. So we have this. Okay, so now we can put our icon here inside here. So let's just do that here, icon, and then we can choose to use an icons dot, I don't know how, and then let me see the cancel. I think it's cancel, right? Let me see what happens. Okay, so we have it there. You see, there's no need to make any other change except we want the color. So you can go ahead and say color is that gray. I think that will look okay for me. and that's it. But we have to also wrap this one in either an inkwell or a gesture detector. But this one, I think we don't even need to wrap it in a gesture detector or an inkwell because we can use an icon button here. So there are so many ways to do this. So let's just I think I'll cut this one and then use an icon button here instead of just an icon and then wrapping it in there. So we can check, and this one needs an icon, so we can just go ahead and say icon and then icons that cancel. Alright, and let's see how it looks like. And then our code breaks because this is you see the icon button comes with its own size, and it takes a lot of space because of uh the clickable effect on it. So it takes a lot of space. So I think I'll go back and use what I wanted to use in the beginning, and then decide to wrap this in a gesture detector. Let me just wrap because gesture detector. Okay, and then with this one doesn't increase the size. It still remain the same. You see, it still remain the same. And then we can choose to set it on top of this one. Okay, for now it's just empty. But with the gesture detector, you don't see any effect. I mean, you don't see any background ripple when you click on it. So when I change this one into an inkwell, then you see that when you click on it, you see a ripple at the background. So let's just do that. You see, but looking at this, I don't want it. So let me just take it back to. If you want it, you can use it that way. If you want to see that clickable effect on your button, so I think that one is okay. I'm thinking of pushing this to the last end, so I think we can just use a spacer here, and then the spacer I will always try to push it to its limits. Okay, so now you can see um it's at the top right there at the far end. So I think that's okay for now. So now when we increase when we go into our other page here and then copy and paste this one here again, that means we will have 2 items, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. So the more people order, it will show here in the form of a list. So now we have this one that we have to do, and looking at this is this, I think this, what I did was to use a container here, and then inside the container, I used a column in the container here. So this will be challenging here, but because I'm thinking of changing, okay, what I will do is I'll go ahead and create that one here. I mean, create this design here. So let's just do that for now. In the future, I'll show you what I actually want to do, but let's just go down and then create this one, and then in this one we can use a column here, and then we can specify the children of the column. And so it don't change anything for now, but let's look at what the things we need. So we need a text, and then we need, I mean, the text and then the price, the text and then the price that we need, and then we need a divider here, and then we need a button. So that's exactly what we are going to do here. But first I'm going to separate this into a new method. Let me just cut this and then remove this one here. Let's create a method here, widget. Let's call it build let me just put an arrow, build total container, something like that. Be a total container here. Oh, sorry. I ended this with okay. And then we can return what we cut from the other side. And then we can bring this one here. Build total container here. So we can put our design in this. Let me just bring this one here. Okay. So looking at this, we need you see, this looks like a row. I mean, obviously it's a row. We have a row. We have rows in column. So we have our column here, and we are going to arrange our rows inside those column. But you can choose to use a row to accomplish this, or you can use a lister to accomplish this. So I think I will show you the two, and then you can choose whatever you want to do. So let's just use a lister for now. Lister, and then in the lister, let's see the things we can do. We can set the title, the trailing. We can also set the leading. Where is it? Okay, so there's a leading. We can also set on top on it, and then we can also set the subtitle. So let me show you what we do. So we will need a leading here, and then the leading will be the cart total, I mean the text that we want there, and then the trailing will be the price. So you can just go ahead and say let's just put a text here and then say cart price, right? Is it a cart price or cart total here? Total, and then we can also set the trailing. So the leading will appear on the left side, and then the trailing will appear on the right side. So one will start and then one will end. So we can just copy this one here and then put it here, and then we can change this to I think let's say 23.0. So let's save and see what happens. Okay, so you can see we have it there. So we have to change the design here. Let's quickly do that. Star and then test star. Let me test star. Sorry, we have to set the font size. I don't know why I'm making a lot of I'm just tired. Okay, so we set the font style, and I think 16 will be okay for now. And then we can also set the font weight. I think font weight we can set it to bold, and then we can also set the color and then say colors.gray. Okay, let's save and see what we get. And this looks okay. You can also change. Let's look at this. We can also change this and make this one. What's the color? What color did I use for this one? I don't think it's black, but okay, you can use any color, but I'll use black in this one. I don't remember the color I used for that one, so I think let's just copy this one. Because you already know how to do this, so let me just copy this one and then paste it here, and then just change this one to black instead of gray, and let's see what we get. Okay, so we have this, and now we can copy our lister because we need 3 of those, right? 1 2 3. So we can copy our lister, and this will, let me show you what this will do. Let's just copy our list and sorry, paste. Let's see what we get. So you can see what this cause. You can see there's extra space between the list styles. and that's why I didn't use lister. Um, when I was designing this, I used a row for this one because I didn't want too much space, and I think I didn't find a way to remove the extra space between the items here. So when you look at this, the space in between, I mean, the items are is small, so we can go back and use a row instead of using a lister because I don't like the extra space and I don't know how to remove the extra space in a lister. So I think the extra space is coming from, let's try something before we go back to the row. So let's say subtitle and then let's put empty text there, and it doesn't even take an empty text. No, it won't work. It won't work, but let me see. So let me just put an empty text there and let's see what happens. Save. um it doesn't change anything, you know. So that's why if you know any way to remove the extra space, because list style comes with extra space, just like an icon button. So if you know how to remove that one, you can leave a comment in the comment box below. But if you but I'm going to use a row instead of a lister. So just let me comment this whole thing for now because I'll need some information from there. So let's go ahead and use a row and then say children, and we need a text. So this is the first text we need. Let's just copy it because I won't be typing this whole thing, and then we can paste here. And then we also need our second text. So you can copy this one and also paste it right after this. Guys, if you know how to format your code in Visual Studio Code, please show me how to do that in the comment below, because if I want to format this code here, I will have to do it manually by just okay. So we have, using the row, you can see the items are together because a row will arrange, as I always say, will arrange its children in the horizontal manner um, from the right to left. So the first item moves to the left side and then the second items follow. So we want to put a space in between the two items so that this one goes to, like we did in the lister. So we can simply put a spacer widget in between to we can do this way. Let me show you what I mean. So we can do it this way, yeah, and we have what we actually want. Or we can choose to remove the spacer here, and then let's when we remove the spacer from there, it goes back to normal, I mean like how it used to be. And then let's decide to put let me see, we can also set the main axis alignment here, and then say main axis alignment dot space between. Why is this thing not giving me it's not giving me the auto completion? So we have this, and when we save, yeah, so you can decide to use the spacer widget, or you can decide to use the main axis alignment of the row and then set a space between. So I think using this one is okay instead of using the spacer. It will just take an extra widget to do that. So this one is okay. So we can just go ahead and then copy this row, yeah, and then paste and paste, because we need 3 items, 1 2 3, discount and then tax. So discount, yeah, let me change this to discount and then make this one, is it 3? Oh, it doesn't matter, because we later on um we will fetch this from a database. So a lot of people are asking if we are going to connect this to a database. Of course, this app, this is a full app. I've already done the app, but then I'm now making a video of how I did the application. So you will obviously connect it to an app, sorry, a database. So the database I have for this application is MySQL. So we will do it, we will connect to MySQL database, and then later I think I'll make a video on how to connect to Firebase. So we have this, we change this to discount, and then what's the other one? We have the tax. Let's just put the tax here, and then this is supposed to be tax, so maybe 0.5, something like that. And let's save and see how it looks like. Okay, so with this one, they are too close. I'll need some space in between, so we can use the size box to put a space in between, or we can wrap each row in a container. But I think I will use a size box, because we know that this is a fixed thing. We are not going to add on to this, so just go ahead and then use a size box, and then set is it the height? Yeah, the height to be 10 points. I'm sorry, 10. Oh, why 10.0? And then we save this one, and we can see there's a space in between. So let's just copy this one and then put it after this. So because we know that it's a fixed thing, we have only 3 items, and now we need a divider, right? Because we have a divider here, and then after the divider we can put a size box of 20, because you can see the space here is bigger than the ones we have here. So the same design, but before that, let me just copy it from here. So we can just do that here, and then say subtotal subtotal, so like 23, 26, 26.5. So when we save this, we have this one, but then we want a divider here. So let me just remove this one. I won't use this one, but I'll go ahead and use the divider here. And with this divider, I can set a height here and say 20.0, and I can also specify a color here, right? And then specify a color of gray, and let's see what we get. I think my machine is slow today. I don't know why my machine is slow today, and I didn't see my divider. I can't see my divider. Why am I not seeing my divider? Why is it not showing? Let's just, oh, okay, so it's here now. So you can choose to use any color you want. I don't remember the color I used for I think I used the custom color. Let me look for, I think I used this color here. So let me look for the color on the other card here. Where I think I used this color, so I can just go ahead and copy this color. This is the color I used for the divider. Let's go back to the divider and then use this color there, and let's save and see what we get. Okay, so that's the color I want. So now we are left with our button here, and I want a margin at the top of this because it looks like yeah, let's put a margin of the container. See guys, you can change the color if you want, but I think I'll maintain this color for now. And then we need to create this button. So where is our container for this? Yeah, let's just put, oh, what did I do? I just press enter somewhere. So let's come here and then set a margin and then say edge inset dot, this is supposed to be small, and edge inset dot only, and then we can specify the top, and so 20.0 will be okay for us. Okay, so now let's this space is small for me, so I would like to increase the space there. So let's just increase this from here. Let me see if 40.0 will be okay for us. Okay, I think this one is okay. Now we can add our our button proceed to checkout. So let's do that. We are going to use a container, right? So that we can set the decoration of our container. If you are going to use a raise button for this, I don't know how you are going to specify, design the border radius of that container. So we have this one, and then we can, do I need to specify? Yeah, let's specify the width here. Let's say 230.0 here, and then let's specify a height of 50.0, and also I think let's just put a color for now, color, because I want to see the actual width and height of the container if it's okay for us. So I can just go ahead and check, and let's see what we get. Yeah, so we have an error here. Oh, okay, you can't see, but I can see the error on my device. You can't, okay, yeah, now it's showing. So we have an error. The reason is I am using a color here on the container, and I've also specified the decoration here, so cannot provide both a color and a decoration. So if you are going to use a decoration, then you don't need to specify the color here. You have to specify the color inside the box decoration. So let's take this one here and now bring it inside the box decoration. I've decided not to edit this video so that you see the errors I make while recording this video. Okay, so now the error is gone, you can see. So that's it guys. If you use a box decoration, you don't have to specify the color inside the container, but rather inside the box decoration widget. So we can go ahead and look at this. I think the width is not enough, so instead of making the width static, I'm going to use the media query and then of context, and then use that size and then use the width here, and let's see what we get. Okay, so we get a full width, and that's what I want, because I don't know the full width, the size of the full width. So we can use this one, and then let's design the border radius of this one. I can go ahead and say not border radius, yeah, and then border radius to this will be border radius dot circular. I don't know why my auto completion is not working the way I want. and then I think 30.0 will be okay, or 25. Let's see. Okay, so I think is okay, is just perfect. So this is what I want, and now we can put our text here. So inside the content I can specify the chart, and then I want the text to be at the center of the container, so I'm using the center widget, and then I will use a text inside our center widget, and I say proceed to order, right? That's what I wrote. Proceed to checkout. Okay, proceed to checkout here. Now if I save this, I should have it there, so we can let me just format it this way, because some people will find it difficult to see the text there. So I can now go ahead and then specify this here, and also set the color here. So colors dot white here, and also specify the font weight dot bold, and then I want to also specify the font size to, I think 18.0 will be okay. So let's save and see the changes so far. Okay, so that's what we have here. And so now let's just put a margin. I think let's just use a size box, so it doesn't matter. Let's just use a size box here to put a space here, and then say 17.0 here. Okay, so that's what we have here. But in the next video tutorial, there's something we are going to do, because I think this will give us a problem when we start fetching from the database where we have a list of food items, because I will convert this. Let me show you what I'm trying to mean here. So this one, I'll put this one in a column rather. So what I want to actually do is to cut this here, and then put a column inside the list view here, because I'm thinking this will give us a problem later. And then specify the children here, and put our order card here. So let's just save and see what we get, and it looks the same, but this will give us the advantage when we are fetching from the database. So that's what we will do. And I'm also thinking of wrapping the column in an expanded widget. So let's try that and see what happens. I don't know why I can't find these things. My computer is running slow today, so let me just see. It's just running slow. What's all this? I don't know why this is misbehaving. Okay, so we can go ahead and do this, and let's see what we get. This throws an error. You can see it throws an error everywhere, and my application has crashed. So we can use a expanded widget. What I wanted to do was to make sure this will take the extra space. Okay, my application has crashed. But what we can do is to also specify the bottom navigation, right? Because I don't want the build container to be in the list. I don't want it that way. So we can choose to remove it from the list so that we don't use the column, or we can allow it to be in the list and then use the column. So each other way will work, but yeah, I'll show you the two ways. So I'll leave it for now, let it be in the list, but when we start fetching from the database, and we realize we don't like it that way, then we can specify uh, the bottom navigation of this particular page to be let me show you. Let me just show you what I want to do. So let me close the app and then rerun the whole thing again. I think, guys, you let me just rerun the app here. So I'm rerunning the application, and let me just remove these things. I don't need it now because we didn't use it. And then what again? Okay, so what I want to do is to specify the bottom navigation of this page, and then we will pass this to the bottom navigation. We can do that, right? So if you're going to do that, then that means we have to bring the app bar from the main screen here to our other page here, and then we specify the bottom navigation on the scaffold widget and pass this one to it, so that instead of using a column here, we can just go ahead and use the list view. So my app is still running. I'll wait for it to show on the mobile device, and then I'll show you what I mean by using the bottom navigation bar. And then I'll end this video tutorial and then create another video on how the favorite page will look like, and then we will create our um, our profile page. But you see, there are some changes that we will do to the home page. The home page, I don't have the home page here, so there are some changes that we will make on the home page. So guys, I'm not going to edit this video. I want you to see all the errors, the things, how the things behave, so that you see everything. So we have it back here. So now we have this one, and then let's see. So this is what I'm trying to say. So let's just wrap this with let's wrap it with the scaffold widget and show you what I mean. So I wrap this with the scaffold widget, and I can change this to the body, and now that means I will have to come here, and instead of using this scaffold, I want to copy my app bar here, cut this and remove the whole app bar from there for now. My ID is slow today. I don't know why it's showing the error there, but it shouldn't show an error. Why are you showing an error? Yeah, of course, you're not supposed to show an error. I don't know why this thing is misbehaving. Anyway, let's go back. My ID is just slow. So I want to come here, and now where I specify, I can put the app bar there, and this will look okay. Let's just remove this one here. Okay, let me see if the error has gone. Why am I having an error there? Okay, it's because of this thing here. Okay, so let's save this, and our app bar is gone. So let's come here and then save here, and we will get our app bar back. Okay, so now with the scaffold here, we can we already have a bottom navigation bar there, and that is different from what I want to do here. So in this scaffold widget, I can, let me see where it ends here. Okay, I can specify a bottom navigation bar here, and look at this. Look at let me just go back again and see what I'm trying. When you try to specify the bottom navigation bar, the bottom navigation bar accepts any widget. So that means you can pass any widget to it. A text widget, a container widget, a pattern widget. You can pass any widget to it. So that's exactly what I want to do. I want to pass this widget to it. So instead of using the widget in the list view, I want to cut this from them and then paste it here, and then remove this command here, and let's save and see what we get. Let's see what we get. Okay, so this is what we get, and the reason why we are getting in this is coming from the column. Let me show you. So this is coming from the column. The reason is, in the container we didn't specify a height and a height for this one, so the column will try to stretch and fill all the page. So we have to constrain our column by specifying a height. So let me check if 200 will be okay. So 200 is small because you can see we need extra, so I can specify 200. 220 will be okay because we need 6 more pixels, but then I will add 20 to it, and now we see that we have this takes a long time to show here, the app mirror. So now we can see that we have it here, but you see that when we specify the container to be our bottom navigation, but we can't get the padding here, so we can set it here. We can set it in our container, edge insect, and then we can use the same padding here. Where is my padding? Okay, horizontal. Let's just use the same padding here. Let's copy this and then paste it here. So yeah, I don't know why this takes long time to show on the okay. So we have a pattern and it looks perfect. So this is what I actually want to do. So now you can see this has moved down, and even looking at this, that means we can choose not to use the column anymore. So I will just copy this and then now remove the column from there. So this is what I actually wanted to do. So now removing the column, we can just paste this one there, and let's see. Okay, so we still have something nice, but you see, when we add more items to our food, when we add more food items to our food list, you can see is the the price container, or the price container remains static. It's fixed. It doesn't move. It's fixed. So we can choose to do it this way, or we can choose to make the container move with the the food list item. So if you want the container to move with the food list item, then you can just go back and then cut this and paste it here, and then remove this from there. Let me show you. Remove this from there, save this. Okay, and then you can see it's moving in line with it. So guys, you can choose to make it this way. Whichever way you prefer, you can do it this way or the other way. So I will see you in the next video tutorial. Thank you for watching, and please share these videos with your friends, and also subscribe to my channel. If you are watching this video for the first time, please subscribe to my channel and then share the videos with your friends on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you can share this video, please. Thank you once again. I'll see you in the next video tutorial.